We begin tonight with an extremely disturbing story that's making headlines right around the world and may have a direct connection to Calgary.
This is a troubling one, Rob. A Somali man stands accused of beheading 4 children in that country, his own sons.
The man spent decades here in Canada, including some time in Alberta.
The CBC's Jennifer Lee tracked down one of his friends and has reaction from Calgary's Somali community.
He's a nice guy. He never do criminal. He never do bad thing. Yeah, he was a good guy.
It's a story that has Calgary's Somali community talking, and it's capturing international headlines. A Canadian man arrested in the Somali town of Beledweyne, accused of beheading his 4 young children. Their mother clearly still in shock. In a phone interview, she says her husband, Omar Shari Hassan, had been back in Somalia for 10 months when it happened.
Omar Shari, when I married, I got 4 children. He killed all of them, his 4 children, knife.
Kadro Adawi says her husband is a taxi driver who lived and worked in Calgary. But CBC contacted cab companies as well as the Taxi Commission. No one we talked to has a record of Hassan. This man says he's known Hassan for more than 20 years. Mahmoud Fido says his friend actually lived and worked as a taxi driver in Fort McMurray with a short stint in Yellowknife. They lost touch after their last visit in 2009.
And that time he was not okay. Yeah.
What was wrong?
He's told me a lot of, he say a lot of stress, the pressure, and he say I didn't sleep very well. Let's have a problem, mentally sick. I feel that when I see his face, it's different totally.
Fido is still trying to come to terms with reports that his friend, who lived in Canada for 25 years, is accused of murdering his own children.
This was scary. It was unbelievable. I didn't sleep even last night. I was thinking in my mind. He was in my mind. It's sad.
It's a story that hasn't only shocked Hassan's friend, it's shocked members of the close-knit Canadian Somali community who are watching anxiously as details emerge. Jennifer Lee, CBC News, Calgary.
A Somali man with ties to Alberta, possibly to Calgary, has been charged with horrific crimes in his homeland. Police in that country say Omar Hassan beheaded his 4 sons, the oldest 7, the youngest just 3. The 60-year-old was arrested north of Mogadishu, apparently after turning himself in. Our Chris Epp is covering this story. So Chris, Hassan's wife says he used to work here.
She says he was a cab driver for decades in Calgary and elsewhere in Canada, but that he moved back to Somalia several years ago after they got married. Now, the city of Calgary has no record of anyone by that name ever being granted a taxi license here. We also spoke to several local cab companies who also said they had no trace of him in their records. However, nobody seems to be disputing the fact that he did spend many years in Canada. His wife says she hoped to eventually move here with their children. She says she's obviously devastated by what happened.
He killed them, 4 children. Knife, he killed knife, and all of them, they died. They died, all of them.
Now, we also talked to Canadian Foreign Affairs today. They said they are aware of this case, but haven't been asked to be involved in any way. Tara.
All right, Chris, thank you.
We're learning about a disturbing story involving a Somali-Canadian man who is accused of beheading his 4 young sons. With the details, we're joined by Daniel Prusalides in Ottawa. Daniel.
Yeah, this is a very disturbing story. There are Somali radio reports indicating that police have arrested a Somali man who apparently has Canadian citizenship and was living for very, very many years as a taxi driver in Calgary. He returned to Somalia at some point and had been essentially farming there in a town in south-central Somalia near the Ethiopian border. Reports are that he was arrested and accused of beheading his 4 children in a town, as I say, near the Ethiopian border. These are kids that were aged 11, 9, 7, and 6. And Omar Shari Hussein is now being questioned by police, and we are awaiting to learn more details about just what did happen and whether he will be formally charged with the murders of these 4 children. children. In the meantime, his wife, his estranged wife who lives in Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia, has spoken out saying that her husband may have had some physical health issues, but she wasn't aware of any mental health issues. This, of course, comes in a very troubled country. Recently, Canada has pledged to help Somalia's government rather, to fight the Islamists that have created so many problems in that country. Just yesterday, our Foreign Affairs Minister John Baird met with his Somali counterpart and pledged $6 million to the Somali government to help them fight Al-Shabaab, which is probably the foremost Islamist group in the country. So, as I say, just to recap what we know so far, we do have a Somali-Canadian man who is under arrest in Somalia, accused of beheading his 4 children, and we're waiting to hear more on how the interrogations might go or what charges might formally be laid, Pat.
Okay. Daniel, thank you.
Anytime.